Next up, we have our hot route calls, and I was gonna do this video last, but then I thought it might be a good idea to do it, to at least upload it into the chat between the play breakdowns and the coverage breakdowns. That way, when I do the coverage breakdowns, I can start talking about the options to change routes within a given play against a certain look, and I can use these keywords in those videos to start to help familiarize all of us with some of the main routes that we'll probably go to. Now, we got 18 routes here, much like we have 18 plays. I'm gonna try to way to format it onto the wristbands, where maybe, I don't know how the layout's gonna be, but it's gonna be on the wristbands, right? So all of these will be on the wristbands for the quarterback if he forgets what a route call is, or for a receiver if he hears one called out for him and forgets what it means. There will never be an instance where we don't know what we're doing. Hopefully after enough time, these all just are second nature and you don't need to look at the wristbands. I tried my best to make it to where, you know, all the words help, you know, trigger the route that it belongs to. So like words that are really synonymous with the name of the route, right? So I'll just get started at the top here. I got them listed in order of, you know, deep to shallow, sort of. So we'll just go through it one at a time. There are 6 of them here in the middle that I'm gonna single out and probably come back to maybe, I don't know, we'll see. So we'll start with the fly. So like keyword zipper. And again, before we get into all of this, all of these are open to change. Like, you know, what pops into my head when I hear the word fly might not be what pops into the rest of the team's head or something like that. I had a bunch of different words come through for a lot of these, but I just tried to land on the one that either was like, you know, the most obvious, and I tried to eliminate, you know, like any 3 or 4 syllable words. Shit that's easy to say at the line, you know, 2 syllable, 1 syllable words that we can repeat easily at the line and say quickly if you gotta say it in a, you know, in a no huddle and try and get the ball off in time or something like that. Anyway, fly, I went zipper. Check your fly, zipper, you get it, you got it, done. Fade, I went clippers, and I actually like the fact that zipper and clipper rhyme and stand for fly and fade, which are somewhat sort of the same route. And you know, and then your brain can just distinguish, okay, we use clippers to get a fade, zipper's my fly. But I almost like that they remind each other of the two. They'll in tandem, they'll help remember each other. And then we've got seam. I went stitches. You know, the seam of a shirt, or you know, whatever along the seam is stitches. Was the thought behind that. Again, open to what else jumped into any other people's mind. I have written down here, like for fly, I also wrote down eagle. I thought zipper was more obvious. For fade, I had clippers and barber. Clippers was, you know, I already told you I like clippers. You know, seam, I had stitches and crease. Like, you know, these don't got to be locked in. It's just what I came up with, right? And then for wheel, I went with scooter, you know, on wheels. Motorcycle, bicycle, all that other shit takes too long to say. Just went with scooter. So you hear scooter, pretty sure it's the only word in this whole thing that would have a wheel. Or no, actually no, trailer would have a wheel, but anyway, I'll get to that. Scooter, wheel. Post, we got mailman, you know, mailman, postman, post office, brings your mail. Pretty easy one to me. I don't know. I guess in the modern day, when people hear post, they're thinking of social media. So I don't know if y'all want to go with like tweet or whatever the fuck. For me, mailman rings a bell. I'm cool with that. Open to hear what y'all have to say about it. For corner, I went bus stop. I think I had bodega on here at first, but 3 syllables versus 2 syllables. I just went bus stop. Easier to say. But yeah, bus stop on the corner was the same thought behind the bodega, right? But Yeah, bus stops a lot of times are on the corner, make you think of corner, what have you, right? And then these 6 are actually the 6 that I'm going to skip and come back to, right? Because they're all kind of intertwined and mean something in reference to each other. So I'm gonna skip these 6 real quick, right here. And we'll come back to that. I will jump down to trailer. I went with hitch and trailer. I'm sure most of y'all know what that means. Hook the trailer up with the hitch. Get it, got it, good. Okay. And again, anybody's got any better thoughts for any of these? No suggestion is a bad suggestion. Whatever pops into your brain might be what pops into somebody else's brain, so do not hesitate to say it. Comeback, I got Brady. Yeah, I hear the word comeback, I think Brady. And I'm pretty sure most of y'all will agree. Slant, I got ramp. You know, slant was tricky actually, but I ended up just going like ramp, you know. It's an incline on a slant. Should be able to draw you to that spot. Drag, I went smoke, you know what I'm saying? Smoke, take a drag, pretty self-explanatory. Flat, I went sidewalk. We could go sidewalk, we could go pancake, we could go whatever. I think at first I had pancake, but I replaced it with sidewalk for the reason that our plays are all cities, and we could save foods for something else. Food could be some other adjustment. Food could be something we use for, you know, formations or motions or whatever, but like we could know out of our head, cities are plays, food is something else, any other word is our hot routes. And honestly, we should just know the hot routes by the words. But I changed it from a food to sidewalk to reserve the option of using food words as a way to have some other calls in the offense. But that's down the road. And then drop, I just went fumble. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. So basically, you know, and I got these 6 to come back to. So let me go back to these 6, right? Because all of these kind of make sense in a vacuum by themselves. I tell you it, you're like, okay, I get how you got to that. You say the word, it makes you think of that. These other 6 are kind of different, right? So nothing about the phrase deep cross would make you think of a subway. Nothing about a deep in makes you think of basement, deep out cellar, short cross taxi, kitchen garage. How did I arrive at this, right? So my thoughts were, and I'll try to use some color here to bring some sense to this, right? It's three routes with 2 depths for each of them, right? So we got a deep cross, short cross. We got deep in and a short in. And then we got deep out and a short out, right? Same route at different depths. So what I wanted was for both outs to be something out, like outdoors. I wanted both ins to be something indoors, and I wanted both crosses to be something that have to do with cross. So here's my line of thinking. You can, you know, I don't know if this makes sense to you. Clown me if you must, right? So on a crossing route, we're trying to get across field. Relate that to trying to get across town, right? We're trying to get across town. I got 2 ways to get across town. I could take this taxi, and I could take the subway. What's the difference between a taxi and a subway? One is deep and one is not. Now this part might confuse you, because when I say deep on a field, that means higher in a sense, deeper. And then when I say deeper in the sense of getting across town, I mean one's underground and one's not, right? So you got to remember what I mean by deep. And deep means one thing, you know, so I don't know if I lost you there. But basically, if I'm trying to get across town, my deeper option is the subway, and my shorter option is the taxi. One is deep, one is not. That may confuse you, but when I use the same principle in these other ones, it may make a little more sense. Same thing with the in. We've got a deep in and a short in. Well, kitchen and basement are both inside the house, right? They're both inside. One is deeper than the other. Just like the subway is deeper than the taxi, a basement underground deeper than the kitchen, right? We go to the outs. A garage and a cellar are both technically outside, right? Or at least you access them from outside, right? The main door to a garage or cellar is outside. The difference being, one is deeper than the other. One being deeper than the other. Both outside, one deeper than the other. So cellar, underground, garage, on the main floor, right? And then if you look at it, not just in tandems, but in the way that they are from deep to short, you know, subway gets me across town, basement's inside, cellar's outside. Taxi gets me across town, kitchen's inside, garage is outside. So whether you break them down into the pairs or you separate them into the three to learn that,